My number 10, I'm going to go Homer, I know. Indianapolis, Baltimore Colts away jerseys that they've had since 1956 all the way to the present time. Obviously, there's been some minor variations, but I've always liked the away white jerseys. It's especially with the white pants. It's like an icy look to it. I don't know. It's especially with I miss the blue face mask. I should point that out as well. But there's just something so clean about the all whites. It's really hard to describe. Indy has not changed their jerseys much. In fact, the Indiana Knights jerseys that they've added fairly recently, I think it was 2 years ago, that's been the kind of most change that they've done, even though it's not a full-time jersey. It's just a special event jersey. I don't even like it that much. They've stuck with tradition, very much like the Raiders have, where they're kind of just, this is what we are, this is what we have. Once in a while, we throw you a bone, but this is it. But I love the all-whites, and I think it's one of the best away uniforms in all of football. So number 10, the Indianapolis Baltimore Colts away jerseys. Number 9, we're going with the same color scheme, basically. In 2016, the New Orleans Saints introduced a color rush jersey with, they call it, we all call it like the white Power Ranger one, but it's the all whites, but it's got that gold lettering, and the helmets look really good with it. I hated a lot of the color rush jerseys or uniforms. I really did. Some of them were so bad, like Jacksonville with that dark yellow. Right? Yeah, they had the dark yellow. Tennessee had like that all blue. There was some really bad color rush ones. I didn't like it. 90% of them. But the New Orleans Saints one had the best one, hands down. They do continue to use it to this day. But yeah, it's clean. Again, if you do an all-white jersey, just right, it looks great. So, color rush, New Orleans Saints, that's my number 9. Number 8, I'm going to do for the Atlanta Falcons, their home jerseys from 1990 to 2002, which was the all black. And he had the Falcon logo from back then with the long wing on the side. But there's something really cool about all black uniforms too. I really like looking back. Like, it's weird to see Brett Favre wearing the all black. Like, it's back, obviously he was drafted by the Falcons. Really cool to see him in that look. Like, it's unique, but yeah, like even if you think about just back then, they had those bright reds, which I didn't mind, the red helmets, the red jersey tops, but what a change. It was a serious approach to their uniform. So I like the Atlanta Falcons old all blacks, and they bust them out sometimes for throwbacks. It doesn't hit quite the same. It doesn't look as clean as it did way back when, but I like it because I remember the Super Bowl that Atlanta went to, 98, when they went up against Denver, and I don't know, I enjoying that run as a kid. It always stands out with me. So that's my number 8. Number 7, the Washington Redskins, 1972 to 2019, their home jerseys, the burgundy, the gold, one of the best color schemes of all time. And obviously they've carried it over with the Washington football team and into the Washington Commanders, but there was something like, I don't know, just, I know it's such a controversial name thing now, and I understand takes from both sides. I really do. But I don't know. I see those really those dark burgundy jerseys, and it feels like classic NFL to me. I don't know. The new stuff, the Washington football team stuff, the Washington Commander stuff, it's too clean, it's too new. But there's something old school about the Redskins uniforms that just, I don't know. They stood out. They felt, I don't know. Again, they just reminded me of football, fall weather, winter weather, and just classic hard-hitting football. So that's my number 7, the Washington Redskins. All right, my number 6 is the Houston Oilers. Their uniforms, their jerseys specifically, they call it I think more so in the early 70s, it was like called like a Love You Blue. But it's just got a really cool look to it. I like the predominant like blue to it with the kind of the red lettering, the red accents. I have two Houston Oilers Homes jerseys. I have a Warren Moon, which was gifted to me by my good friend Will, as well as a Steve McNair jersey. So I got some of that, which is always really nice. But really sad when the Oilers went to Tennessee, because they honored it, but they didn't like embrace that color scheme. And they bring it back sometimes, I think, but it's just like, it's not the same. It's not the same. So Houston Oilers, that's my number 6. Number 5, growing up in Buffalo, New York, to me, the epitome, the pinnacle of football uniforms was the Buffalo Bills. Their home jerseys that they wore from 1984 to 2001. I have a Jim Kelly one out there. I have I guess it's not the same kind. I have a kid-sized Doug Flutie one, which I guess he would have wore. There's been a few different iterations of the Bills jerseys over the years, and they've done some that have kind of been a little bit of a throwback to it, but I like that darker blue that they had. I love the red helmets, and I'm really excited that they're going to be bringing that back. It's always a cool aesthetic to see, but I really, really enjoy the 90s, and obviously 80s too, but the predominant 90s Bills uniforms. There's just something so comforting of that to me. I remember going back, and my dad, mom would take me, my sister, along with my Uncle Mark and my cousins Hannah and Molly. We all go to the Bills games. And the aesthetic of the Ralph back then, with the red end zones and the red walls and just the Marlboro advertisements and Red Dog and all sorts of stuff. That's what that jersey means to me. That's like the definitive jersey of that time in my life, which is, I guess that makes sense. But that's my number 5. Number 4, love the Denver Broncos Orange Crush jerseys. I do. That bright orange with the little bit brighter blue on the helmets. I did like the little bit darker version that Denver brought out. Was it a couple years ago? Yeah, they did it a couple years ago, and I remember Drew Lock was wearing it. They were playing against the Bills, and they brought it out. And I thought it was a neat little throwback, but the OG having it, it's very of the era. They wore those from 79 to 96 before they got the big the modern upgrade for the Broncos jerseys. But yeah, Orange Crush Denver Broncos, that's my number 4. Very very cool jersey. Number 3, the St. Louis Rams. A little bit of the LA Rams too, I guess. But 73 to 99, they wore these. And the new LA Rams have a tribute to it. It just doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel very 90s to me. Like, when I think of those jerseys, I think of Marshall Faulk. I think of Kurt Warner. Even though, even Jim Everett. Like, just the dark blue with the bright yellow, it just popped so much. And it's kind of crazy, too, because I think a lot of this is based on perception. Like, I remember how cool the 2000 St. Louis Rams jerseys were, where they had the dark blue with that, like, that gold. It wasn't even it was like a dark gold, like, tan color that they introduced. Like, that was cool at the time because it was fresh, but I don't know. This one is always like great to me. I was really excited to see when the LA Rams decided to bring it back. I was. It's nice. It is nice. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their creamsicle jerseys. I have a Tom Brady creamsicle jersey, although he never got to wear one, from what I recall. But they wore these from 76 to 96. And another example of this. Like, how cool were those, like, red and charcoal jerseys that the Bucks brought out in the late 90s and early 2000s. They were different. The digital, almost like the digital clock kind of numbers, the analog clock kind of numbers. It stood out, but it's so clean now. Like, I love the orange with the white helmet and the winking pirate. It makes for a cool aesthetic. I think it's a nice example that too much of one thing is bad, but if you do it just enough, it looks good. And what I mean by that is, like, the Bucks brought it out, I think, last year for a throwback game against the Detroit. And they might have done it one other occasion. But it just, like, it looks cool. It's really cool. And I would love a Baker Mayfield version of it. I would. It's a great color scheme. The orange, you got the red with it, and obviously the white too. So that's my number 2, Tampa Bay Bucks creamsicle. My number 1, the Los Angeles San Diego Chargers. They've worn this for most of their run. I think there was a little bit from the 90s. Actually, it might have been mid-80s to 2000, because I don't think I seen Jim McMahon with a powder blue. But, like, Stan Humphries, I don't remember seeing him with the powder blue. They brought it back around Drew Brees' time. But this is one, I was talking about this the other day. The logical choice, my logic choice, I always say that this is my favorite NFL uniform, which it is. It certainly is. The powder blue, the yellow, it's easily one of the best ones. I would love to see the Chargers, the powder blues in a Super Bowl. I would. The emotional part is, I feel like the Chargers have milked this out maybe a little bit too long, where now I'm actually like, those dark navy blue and orange there, kind of cool to see those again, maybe. Right? We talked about balance pretty recently. That's kind of where my head's at with that. I love it. It is the best jersey, hands down, in my opinion. But a little bit more balance with it, I think. You can incorporate the dark blues. They do all sorts of wild stuff out there with the Chargers, with their uniforms. They got like 5 different jerseys every single year. But there it is, everybody. My top 10 lists. My top 10 favorite NFL jerseys.